The spark that ignited the flame. How the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand led to World War I. This narrative is proudly brought to you by Polly Speaks For You. At Polly Speaks For You, we are committed to empowering individuals, especially those with disabilities or learning challenges, through innovative text-to-speech and voice recognition technology. Polly Speaks For You is more than just software. It's a tool for self-expression, connecting people with the world in meaningful ways. By blending the richness of history with cutting-edge technology, Polly Speaks For You demonstrates that every voice, whether preserving the past or shaping the future, has the potential to inspire. While we strive to make the story engaging, our primary focus is on storytelling itself. The visuals are secondary. We're showcasing the remarkable capabilities of text-to-speech software that bring these stories to life. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, on June 28, 1914, is often cited as the spark that ignited World War I. While the death of a relatively minor noble in the grand scheme of global politics might seem an unlikely cause of such a massive conflict, the event was the culmination of decades of political, military, and social tension in Europe, exacerbated by a complex system of alliances, national rivalries, and unresolved territorial disputes. The assassination set off a chain reaction of events that rapidly escalated into a world war. The background. To understand how the death of Archduke Franz Ferdinand caused World War I, we must first examine the broader context in which this tragic event occurred. In the years leading up to 1914, Europe was a continent of highly competitive and often hostile empires, with shifting alliances and growing nationalism. The complex web of alliances. By the early 20th century, Europe was divided into two main alliance systems. The Triple Alliance, 1882, comprising Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. This alliance was primarily a defensive pact aimed at countering the perceived threat from France and, later, Russia. Germany and Austria-Hungary shared common interests in the Balkans and feared Russia's growing power. The Triple Entente, 1907, formed by France, Russia, and Britain. This alliance was established in response to the Triple Alliance. France and Russia had a mutual interest in containing the growing power of Germany, while Britain joined primarily due to its strategic concerns about Germany's increasing military and naval strength. The result of these alliances was that any localized conflict between two countries could quickly escalate into a wider war, as each side was bound by treaty obligations to support its allies. This framework created a fracas, with tensions simmering beneath the surface. Nationalism and imperialism. Nationalism, particularly in the Balkans, had been a source of instability for decades. Many of the smaller nations in the region, particularly Serbia, harbored aspirations of independence or territorial expansion, often at the expense of larger empires. Serbia, for example, was eager to support the Slavic peoples under Austro-Hungarian rule, hoping to expand its influence. Austria-Hungary, a multi-ethnic empire, was particularly concerned about the growing power of Serbia. The Austro-Hungarian Empire had long sought to suppress nationalist movements within its borders, fearing that Slavic nationalism would destabilize the empire. As Serbia's influence in the region grew, especially following the Balkan Wars, 1912 to 1913, Austria-Hungary became increasingly wary of its neighbor. The Balkans, a powder keg. The Balkans were a hotbed of tension in the early 20th century, with various ethnic and nationalist movements challenging the old empires. The Balkan Wars, 1912 to 1913, in which Serbia played a prominent role, saw a weakening of the Ottoman Empire in the region and a rise in Serbian power. Serbia's growing influence was seen as a threat by Austria-Hungary, which feared that a powerful Serbia could inspire other ethnic groups within its empire to demand independence. Serbia's connections to Russia, a Slavic ally, further complicated matters. Russia had long seen itself as the protector of Slavic peoples and had offered support to Serbia. This made Austria-Hungary uneasy, as it found itself confronted with a powerful Russia and a growing, rebellious Serbia in its sphere of influence. The assassination. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, was not widely liked by the people or the political elites of Austria-Hungary, but his death would nonetheless become a catalyst for global war. Franz Ferdinand was seen as an advocate for reform, hoping to grant greater autonomy to the ethnic minorities within the empire, which put him at odds with the more conservative elements of the Austro-Hungarian monarchy. On June 28, 1914, Franz Ferdinand and his wife, Sophie, were visiting Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia, to observe military maneuvers. Bosnia had been annexed by Austria-Hungary in 1908, angering the Serbs, who viewed the region as part of their rightful territory. The assassination was carried out by Gavrilo Princip, a Bosnian Serb member of the nationalist group the Black Hand, which sought to create a greater Serbia by using violence against the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Princip's actions were part of a broader wave of anti-Austrian sentiment in Serbia and the Balkans. While he was just one of several conspirators, the assassination was a symbolic act that demonstrated the widespread desire to challenge Austrian control over the region. The immediate aftermath: Austria-Hungary's ultimatum. The assassination of Franz Ferdinand was a defining moment in European history. Austria-Hungary, seeking to restore its honor and maintain its dominance in the Balkans, blamed Serbia for the attack. However, Serbia was not directly responsible for the assassination, though elements within the Serbian government had provided indirect support to the Black Hand Group. Austria-Hungary saw the event as a direct challenge to its authority and a threat to its stability. On July 23, 1914, Austria-Hungary issued an ultimatum to Serbia, demanding a series of harsh concessions, including the suppression of anti-Austrian propaganda and the removal of individuals within Serbia who were believed to be involved in the assassination. The ultimatum was deliberately harsh, designed to provoke a response that would justify military action. Serbia, while agreeing to most of the demands, refused to fully comply with all of Austria-Hungary's terms, particularly the demand to allow Austrian officials to participate in the investigation. Austria-Hungary, with the support of Germany, saw this as an unacceptable refusal and declared war on Serbia on July 28, 1914. The chain reaction. The declaration of war on Serbia set off a chain reaction of events. Russia, as an ally of Serbia and protector of Slavic peoples, began mobilizing its army in preparation for war with Austria-Hungary. Germany, as Austria-Hungary's ally, declared war on Russia on August 1, 1914. Germany, following its military strategy known as the Schlieffen Plan, quickly invaded Belgium and then France. Germany's invasion of neutral Belgium brought Britain into the war, as Britain had a treaty obligation to protect Belgium's neutrality. Britain declared war on Germany on August 4, 1914. The Triple Entente, France, Russia, and Britain, now found itself at war with the Triple Alliance, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Italy. What began as a localized conflict between Austria-Hungary and Serbia rapidly escalated into a world war, as the complex system of alliances pulled in more countries. Why did this death lead to a world war? While the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand may seem like a minor event in the context of the long history of European tensions, it was the catalyst that set in motion a series of decisions and actions that ultimately led to World War I. Several factors contributed to this. 1. The alliance system. The intricate web of alliances meant that a localized conflict between two countries could quickly escalate into a broader war. Austria-Hungary's declaration of war on Serbia triggered a domino effect as Russia, Germany, France, and Britain were all drawn into the conflict through their alliances. 2. Nationalism and imperialism. Nationalist sentiments in the Balkans had been simmering for years, and the assassination was a manifestation of these tensions. Austria-Hungary's desire to maintain its power in the region and Serbia's drive for independence and territorial expansion were key factors that led to the war. 3. The failure of diplomacy. Diplomacy failed in the critical moments after the assassination. The ultimatum issued by Austria-Hungary was too harsh for Serbia to accept fully, and once war was declared, there was little room for negotiation or compromise. 4. Militarism. European powers had been building up their militaries for years, and once the war began, the mobilization of large armies was swift. The belief that war was inevitable, given the tensions in Europe, pushed countries to act with military force rather than seek peaceful solutions. Conclusion. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand was a relatively minor event in the broader history of Europe, but it occurred at a time when tensions were high and the system of alliances was in place to turn a small conflict into a global war. What followed was the catastrophic escalation of a local incident into World War I, a war that would reshape the map of Europe, bring about the fall of empires, and lead to immense loss of life. The death of a single person, Franz Ferdinand, was the catalyst for a war that would change the world forever. If you're enjoying this story, please remember to hit like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us continue creating content that educates and empowers. To learn more about South Africa's leading accessibility software and to support our dyslexic-friendly initiative, visit www.polispeaks4u.co.za. Drop a comment if you want more information. Thank you for watching this video.